Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and I am recording in my actual room for the first time in literally forever, because I'm going to be temporarily departing from my typical album review format to do a video for my discussion playlist. I started up the playlist last month with that Apache vs. Calvin Harris video, and I really like doing videos in this format. It's different and refreshing for me as someone who's been doing album reviews for a little over 4 years now. That's kind of insane, actually. That aside, though, today I want to talk about something that has been on my heart and on my mind a lot over the last few months, and that is the song Overkill by RIOT. Now, Overkill is one of the latest singles off of RIOT's forthcoming debut album, presumably entitled Dogma Resistance, but to my knowledge that has not been confirmed yet. It's just the name of the tour that they're heading out on. The song dropped in late 2018 and has garnered universal acclaim from fans, both of Monstercat and the duo alike. It was placed as track number 1 on Monstercat's Best of 2018 compilation, meaning RIOT got the most votes out of any artist on the list, and Overkill was also their most voted song, which isn't all that surprising. Months later, it seems like everybody and their mother is still head over heels for this song, and I don't necessarily think there's a problem with that. In fact, I think it's really cool that so much of the Monstercat and RIOT communities actually agree on liking a song for once, which is probably why a lot of you guys seem to be really confused when Overkill didn't end up on my Monstercat Best of 2018 list, or on my most recent edition of Top 5 talking about Monstercat Uncaged Volume 6. Now, I thought about waiting for my review of RIOT's LP to explain why exactly I don't love this song, but you know, I'd rather not spend half that video complaining about Overkill. I'd rather talk about the things that I like about the album and what RIOT's trying to do with the concept, because I know they're kind of going for that from what's evident with the singles so far. And I feel like Overkill's a big enough deal that I can just talk about it in its own video and not in like a track review format, because this is really very different. I'm not going to be talking about every single aspect of the song, but rather one major flaw that it has. And that's something that I haven't seen a lot of people complain about. In fact, I don't think I've seen a single person mention it in regard to Overkill, and that is, well, the complete overuse of fake-out drops. If you're not already aware, a fake-out drop is essentially where a producer kind of forces listeners to think a drop is going to happen, a beat drop or a bass drop, whatever you want to call it, but then it doesn't. And this can happen in a number of different ways. Sometimes producers put in another build-up, like another bigger build-up, to make things, I guess, feel more exciting. Or starts out the drop without a drum beat, so it's just kind of the synth hanging there. A lot of the time they flip it into another beat entirely, and they often also use, like, pitch to just keep bringing it up and building the excitement. It's used a lot in DJ sets, particularly in dubstep and rhythm culture. If you still don't know what I'm talking about, you should check out this SoundCloud upload. It's a great parody on the matter. Now, as I was saying, in my opinion, on Overkill, RIOT completely overuses this technique, especially leading into the song's first drop. I think there's about 4 different moments that my brain was thinking, oh yeah, the beat's gonna drop here, and then it just doesn't happen. In fact, let's see exactly how many times Overkill fakes listeners out. is absolutely ridiculous, and that's not even to say that I necessarily have a problem with fake-out drops. In fact, I think they can be great if they're done in the right way. For example, Excision and Dion Timmer's Hoods Up, I think a big part of that track's charm is its fake-out drops. But those fake-outs are meant to be part of the track's flow, and it's meant to be more of a DJ tool than anything. Overkill, on the other hand, seems to just be using the fake-out technique to try to get listeners as hyped up as humanly possible. So, like, at a rave, let's say, if somebody played this song, by the time the drop hits, the crowd's just gonna be going absolutely AWOL. The thing is, it just doesn't work on me. By the time the second fake-out happens, my brain has already completely tuned out of the song, and I just don't care anymore. It's kind of like the fable of the boy who cried wolf to me. To make matters all that much worse, the first drop just doesn't feel satisfying to me, and I think in large part that's because the downbeat doesn't happen on beat 1, but rather beat 3. Because of that, the drop just doesn't feel like it has a distinct starting point, which ends up just making the whole thing feel so awkward to me. And Riot does it in the second drop as well, though in my opinion it's not nearly as bad. They add an extra measure of music into the song for some reason, into the build-up, which doesn't make all that much sense to me, but at least when the beat drops, it comes in on beat 1. I guess the thing, too, that makes it so disappointing to me is that so much else in this song is absolutely great. The off-drop sections of the song are just phenomenal the entire way around. Honestly, one of the best blends and uses of metal step I have ever heard. The storytelling aspect, the infectious melodies, the guitars and the drums, the way everything is mixed just sounds so pristine. But then the way Riot plays "Gotcha" constantly throughout the song's running length just feels like a slap in the face. I think Overkill is the worst instance of this, but it also underlies a huge theme in Riot's music that has me very nervous for how their album is going to sound. With the exception of Disorder, every single Riot release on Monstercat uses some form of a fake-out drop. And that's not an exaggeration. Let's roll the montage.
Run up in your shit. Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong, the fake-outs in Overkill annoy me a lot more than any of Riot's other releases, but it also does highlight that this is a flaw in Riot's music. Their songs each do have their own unique identities and everything, but they do pull this same trick out on almost all of them. I do love Riot, and I am very much so looking forward to hearing the album, but I'm just really hoping that they're going to break that formula a little more on the LP. And that's really all I wanted to talk about in regard to Overkill. Now I don't have to blabber on about it in my review of the album, I can just talk about some other things. But did you guys notice these issues when you were listening to the song? Make sure to let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like or subscribe if you're new here. Definitely be looking forward to some new reviews coming soon. Anyway, I'm Landon Remixes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.